So now that the Ripple versus the SEC lawsuit is officially settled, Ripple will pay $125 million to the SEC in 12 days. The crypto market has been absolutely ripping to the upside the past week, with projects rallying over 20%, 30, some even 40 or 50%. BlackRock added 4,000 shares of its spot Bitcoin ETF to its strategic global bond fund. And Ripple is making some massive power moves right now behind the scenes, leading a lot of people to post stuff on social media saying things like banks over in China, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, the Philippines are using XRP. So in this video, we're going to uncover if that is actually true, what JP Morgan is posting about XRP and Ripple, the new partnerships that they're forging to open doors in Southeast Asia, the difference between Ripple and XRP for people that are saying that all banks are using XRP versus Ripple's technology, what is RippleNet and do they even need XRP or is it just a junk cryptocurrency, how the RippleNet products work and the functionality of each of them specifically with XRP, what's happening right now with hundreds of banks all over the world making partnerships with Ripple and over 60 Japanese banks forming a consortium to build a domestic payment platform based on Ripple that also enables cross-border payments. Ripple's official documentation talking about their payments direct, the features, the use cases, examples, prerequisites, payment flows, and also the role that XRP is going to play in the price impact that this will most likely have on the XRP to the US dollar price chart in the short term, in the mid-term, and ultimately the long term. Plus, watch all the way to the end of this video and I'll show you guys what I'm doing to earn an extra 1,000 to 2,000 XRP per day through the #1 liquidity pool and the #1 play to earn XRP game. So if you're feeling blessed, comment 777. If you're feeling bullish, comment 777. And if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by liking the video, tapping the subscribe button. As always, let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So this is the expression that everyone in the XRP community is going to have over the next few years when we can finally say, I told you so, because a lot of people in this space are diversifying into a lot of different projects, which is a smart thing to do. I've said that in previous videos, and as always, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Crypto is very risky. You could lose money in these markets. In fact, you most likely will if you're serious about it. The best traders, the best investors in the world, they lose money. However, if we can mitigate those risks and I can create these videos, which is my goal to help you do your own research, then these videos are just purely for educational, informational purposes only. So if you're going to invest any money in these markets, that's on your own accord. If you lose money in your markets, that's your own fault. I just provide the news and I make these videos for fun. And so what I want to dive into is what's happening in the crypto space, specifically for Ripple XRP, and then also on a macro view, what's happening for the whole industry as we dive into the total altcoin market and what's taking place on the chart. So the first thing that we need to cover right now is the macro news for Bitcoin really quick, and then we'll dive right into Ripple and XRP because we got a lot to talk about. So BlackRock, obviously their ETFs were approved. And so if BlackRock is adding shares of its spot Bitcoin ETF to its strategic global bond fund, that means that they are bullish. They see a long-term future in this industry. And if BlackRock has over $10 trillion in assets under management, they wouldn't be doing something like this if the top was in, right? So it's very clear that the top is not in, and it's very clear that there's a long-term future in the crypto space for you to make a lot of money. But there are some pitfalls and it's going to take some time. So I want to help you avoid those pitfalls, and I want to explain the time frame here so we can get a realistic expectation, because all I do is provide the facts and we dispel rumors, because a lot of people are saying that every bank in the world is going to use XRP, but is that actually true? Because right here on docs.ripple.com, the bank IDs right here, this is a following list that provides bank IDs or bank names that you must specify when you add a beneficiary to a batch payment file. So we're going to discuss what this actually means in the use of XRP here, because you guys can see China right here. If we click the list to expand, Agricultural Bank of China, Bank of Beijing, all the biggest banks right here in China, not all of them, but the majority of them, right? This is like, I don't know, over 50% of the money that flows through China. Hong Kong, you got Standard Chartered Bank, you got Citibank, JP Morgan Chase Bank over in Hong Kong, the Bank of East Asia, DBS, Bank of China over in Hong Kong right here. And so these are massive. Then you have Philippines, and in the Philippines, there's Asia United Bank, Bank of America, Bank of China over the Philippines. So a lot of these banks like Bank of China can be in multiple different countries and jurisdictions and all of that stuff, just like JP Morgan Chase can be in the United States. They can have a branch overseas as well too. And then you have Citibank over in the Philippines. And so they're getting ready for their stable coin. And right here, this is like a holy crap type of moment right here, according to Chad Steingraber. Introduction to JP Morgan and Neum right here. So what is this? Well, on JP Morgan's website, Neum is a global expansion fueled by JP Morgan's payment solution. So we went to their official website right here on ripple.com, and we look at the customer case study right here. They're forging new partnerships to open doors in Southeast Asia. That's been their goal because of regulation holding everything back in the United States. They know that they need customers overseas if their ultimate goal is to bridge cross-border liquidity. And Neum is a leading digital cross-border payments company providing easy, transparent, and affordable solutions for international payments. But I don't want you to hear it from me. I want you to hear it from this guy right here, is the co-founder and CEO of this platform.
My name is Prajit Danu. I'm co-founder, CEO of the company I set up back in 2014. With a clear vision of trying to build a global payment infrastructure which connects banks, financial institutions. If you look at our customer base, we actually cover a wider base than majority of the payment service providers. So about 60% of our business is financial institutions. So financial institutions includes banks, payment processors, other payment services providers, money services business, etc. Then the 40% of our businesses also includes people like such as marketplaces, travel tech companies, hotel booking sites, etc. So the key aspect what we try to solve for them is two aspects of payments, is how to send money fast as possible and at the lowest possible cost. Fast forward 2019, we are now accessible in about 35 countries. We send payments to about 55 countries. I think RippleNet actually really helps us globalize much faster. I think a great example is one of the customers which we've got, say BTEC, for example. BTEC is a customer in Brazil who uses us to process payments into quite a few markets across the globe. We would have never met BTEC if it was not for RippleNet, right? Because we were actually solving a problem, but we did not have a sales force in Latin America acquiring clients for us. So that was actually done by RippleNet. So I think what RippleNet really helps us do is go to markets which we are not present, help us really articulate a solution, etc., much better than what we could do. So I think RippleNet is a very strong partnership where we're seeing scaling happening much faster on RippleNet than actually acquiring customers directly. If you're a bank and if your son calls you up at midnight, say Singapore time, and says that, hey, I'm in trouble and I need some money immediately, the only way for you is to go and send cash today, right? So that means you need to go out of your house, go and find a cash location, give cash, call your son, give him a number, he goes to a cash out location, takes the number and gets the cash out. But if you need it immediately through a bank, it's not possible. So what we've been working with banks to make this payment system real time. So for example, if your kid calls you up and says that, hey, I need money immediately, you just go onto your mobile app, 3 clicks, send, and within few minutes, the money is already in his bank account. And that's a great service point for a bank. It enables them to acquire more customers. And that's what banks want, right? They want to acquire more customers, grow their business. And by connecting to RippleNet, it actually definitely is a strong point for them to kind of being able to offer a service like this. Because being a technology-driven company, we don't need that many people. So across the globe, we are about 200 people today. Companies of our scale and size are thousands. Say a parallel competitor would have about 1,100 people. We don't need that many people. So our focus is on technology, machine learning, partnerships with RippleNet, for example, help us drive our cost even down further.
So if you guys go on this website right here, ripple.com/customer-case study, and you scroll down, you can see all these other banks like SBI Remit as well too, SCB, Hi-Ha. So a lot of these like smaller regional banks, as they start trickling down, further down like the banking pyramid, leading to major central banks, like the Federal Reserve or the Bank of China or the like Bank of Canada or these bigger banks. A lot of the smaller banks get on board first, and it takes over, and then all of a sudden, through central banking policy, they have no other choice but to adopt long term. So in order to understand the use of XRP, we need to get into the difference for those of you that are new. For those of you that are more experienced and already understand this, you're gonna have an aha moment in this video, because before we talk about RippleNet's products that these banks are leveraging and the use of XRP within those products, it's essential that we differentiate between Ripple utilizing XRP in a variety of its products, but cannot control the asset or its technology despite holding a vast majority of XRP. In this way, the value of XRP does not directly tie to the success or failure of Ripple and vice versa. That's why XRP was deemed as not a security, on the secondary market, because whatever Ripple does as a company, the value of XRP, as you guys can see, hasn't directly reflected that because of various reasons that I'm going to explain in this video. So Ripple cannot limit anyone from harnessing the power of XRP and utilizing it for their own services either. So XRP is actually pretty decentralized, though Ripple holding a lot of XRP be that roadblock that people are talking about with them selling XRP from their escrow. But let's discuss this. So the first thing that we need to talk about is what is RippleNet, because RippleNet utilizes blockchain technology to provide financial institutions around the world the ability to move funds around, intending to build a unified global payment system. That's their goal. And there isn't any sort of global payment system in traditional finance right now. Sure, we have the SWIFT system, but it doesn't really work well with a lot of these other banks that have these different archaic payment software to make things expensive and time consuming. That's why it takes like 3 to 5 business days, not even including weekends, to transfer funds overseas. Just like you heard from Neum's, CEO, he talks about sending money to your son if he's in trouble. You're not able to do that through a bank. The quickest way, to transfer $1 million overseas is literally to get it on an airplane and fly it there. So in today's international connected world, such an outdated payment system feels out of place. Users of all sorts are waiting weeks for payments to process despite being charged high fees, which limits the number of users entering the international market. So this is a massive problem. So that's number one. Ripple is solving a massive problem through RippleNet, and they're aiming to solve these problems by offering one decentralized global network for banks to use. By connecting to the network via an application programming interface, that's just an API that developers use to connect, users can allegedly move their funds around internationally faster, cheaper than traditional methods. And it's important that we cover the fundamentals here for what they're offering to better understand how XRP is going to play a role, because the decentralized network claims to process payments in just 3 seconds, harnessing the global power of the XRP token. So technically, RippleNet is a set of products that harnesses the power of the XRP blockchain rather than the blockchain in its own right. That said, all transactions made using RippleNet products are recorded on the XRP blockchain, but this does not make RippleNet a blockchain in and of itself. Not only this, but RippleNet removes the need to pre-fund accounts through Nostro and Vostro accounts with on-demand liquidity. It's a service that uses XRP to source liquidity instead. So RippleNet supports more than 55 countries and pairs with over 120 fiat currencies, ensuring countries all over the world can easily send payments to one another. Now, if we were to further break this down into their key offerings that customers can take advantage of, that's XCurrent, XRapid, and XVIA. So the first product is XCurrent. They just focus primarily on banks, providing them with cross-border payments at a lower cost than traditional international settlements, and they harness this through their API that can convert conventional payments to the XRP-powered alternative. And so it's designed to fit within banks' existing compliance and risk capabilities, streamlining the installation process. And this has been the big hurdle, is obviously KYC, anti-money laundering policies, along with regulation through the lawsuit with the SEC over the past few years. So the XCurrent system can break down even further into 4 components. That's messenger, FX ticker, the foreign exchange market, validator, and interledger protocol. So XCurrent is essentially just providing fast, cheap cross-border payments, whereas XRapid ensures customers can also source liquidity via the XRP token. So one of the biggest problems is liquidity issues, right? So we're in a liquidity problem, not necessarily just a payments problem. And so they're solving this through the traditional financial marketplace, requiring businesses to pre-fund accounts. In the past, that's what businesses have had to do, not with this. So they offer near instant conversions, freeing up liquidity in a process, also known as on-demand liquidity is what they call it, and removing the need for businesses to pre-fund foreign areas, keeping that money in its account instead, which banks definitely want, because why would you want to have to keep money in a bank account in another country that could just, take your money and try and circumvent the rules and the laws and the regulations if you're in the United States and they're in the Philippines. So that's why banks are partnering with Ripple, because that puts power in their hands. That puts the liquidity back in their hands. They have control of that. Now, XVIA is the API segment of RippleNet, ensuring customers can easily connect to the services mentioned above. They enable sending payments with detailed information while attaching detailed information like different invoices, supply chain management, international bill payments, real-time remittances, peer-to-peer payments, cash pooling, and a global currency account. So if that's what they're offering, along with a lot of other stuff that I'm just not going to cover in this video because I want to give you a high overarching view, and then we'll get into XRP and how it plays a role, and then we'll get into the price action and the reason why XRP hasn't taken off yet, because I know you guys are wondering, well, all these partnerships sound amazing, but Why is the price doing nothing? Ripple has noted that hundreds of banks use their service, and that's just a fact, from smaller entities to worldwide institutions. For example, Bank of America, Santander, American Express are massive groups that utilize the RippleNet services. Santander has already processed more than 450 million euros on RippleNet across 6 European and American countries. And while these banks are even individual investors, they might invest in or use the XRP token to move funds if they want to like pay their employees or whatever it may be. The real value here is in Ripple's products, and let's talk about how they integrate XRP, because regulating cryptocurrencies like XRP affects those who use RippleNet. In some countries, financial institutions might be banned from using RippleNet, as their local governments might limit or outright prohibit digital assets in general. And so while Ripple works with these banks to abide by their local regulations upon their implementation, even so with that, Ripple has been doing everything they can in their power to expand their RippleNet products. Recently, Ripple has taken a 40% stake in a cross-border payments firm named Tranglo. The goal of Ripple's acquisition is to expand its on-demand liquidity offerings over in Southeast Asia. So before I get into how this directly affects XRP and the use for it, look at this. Ripple is very clever with the steps that they're taking by first allowing these banks to use their technology that don't require XRP. However, we're going to dive into a little bit the need for XRP and how that works, and then compare it to what happened with Microsoft and Apple in the early 2000s that affected their stock.
Actually, Japan is a very, very cash-oriented society. Surprisingly, yeah. People think we are kind of advanced, but basically, by the way, I come from Japan. But the percentage of digital payments of all the transactions is actually only 19%. So it's actually kind of national agenda to increase digital payments. And the government encourage banks to innovate so that they can increase digital payments ratio. So now what we are doing in Japan is we created a consortium of more than 50 banks to come together to develop a completely new payments platform or infrastructure powered by Ripple's distributed ledger technology, which basically replaced the existing domestic payments system called the Zengin system. It also can be applied for cross-border payments as well.
And that contrasts with Zelle, which is a fantastic enterprise.
Exactly.
It's built on the existing rails.
That's right.
So what she just mentioned right there, a lot of these other companies are using Ripple's technology kind of like a white label in a different way to develop their own thing, to use that technology to transfer their own country's currencies overseas faster. And in the middle of it is XRP. Now let me get into this by talking about Ripple's Payment Direct, which allows you as a company, a central bank, to connect to Ripple. Like if you're not a central bank, you're just an investor in XRP, hang with me here, because you need to fully grasp this concept here. Because if, let's say, you own like a regional bank or a payment provider company, and you're shifting over to the new financial system to be able to transfer like the GBP to the USD or over to the Philippines currency, over to the Thai baht or whatever it may be, you can connect to Ripple as a payment provider. And by using Ripple Payments Direct, you have a direct financial arrangement with Ripple for cross-border fiat payment services. So this is not cross-border like crypto payment services, it's fiat, because fiat is still going to be around for a long time. It's just shifting, right? There's no like one size fits all. There's going to be, it's like having gold and having Bitcoin and having fiat. Fiat's still going to be there, but a lot of these companies realize that the value of fiat is going down in value, but it's still needed while the current world works the way that it works. Like the world doesn't just change overnight. It changes day by day by day by day by day. It's kind of like how you don't just go through starvation immediately. If you stop eating food, it takes several days. But if you eat every single day, you don't get in the best shape of your life after day one. It takes time to build up. And so that's what we're going through right now, with Ripple taking care of delivering payments to beneficiaries, managing payout partners, providing funds to payout partners, and paying charges in exchange for a payment delivery to the beneficiaries. With Ripple set up as a payments provider, you're no longer going to need to buy, sell, or own XRP. Now, this is the biggest thing that set off a lot of people that said XRP is not going to be needed, XRP is junk. However, this is a smart power play that Ripple made right here to win these banks over. So they use Ripple's technology, and then watch the power play here in a little bit on how this affects XRP. This allows them to onboard more customers to experience cross-border payments through their products so they can grow their user base. They have also made this regulatory friendly while we still go through these new legal frameworks and these bills and these legislations that wait to be passed, by saying no crypto, no need to hold or manage cryptocurrency. See, as a business owner, you want to say stuff like that. So these companies that are like, yeah, we want to get into crypto. We're just hesitant that if we do, we're going to be blacklisted by all of our connections in our country through all these banks. So by them saying that, they know that like, you don't need crypto. They're like, cool, we're on board. So now you win over a customer, you bring them on board while crypto legislation gets worked on to guarantee compliance right now that transactions are compliant with local and national regulations, because a lot of these other countries, guys, haven't been crypto friendly. I mean, even China, look, they've banned Bitcoin, unbanned Bitcoin, if we're talking about Bitcoin, and now they're unbanning it again. So who knows if they're even going to reban it again when we go into a bear market. So by having this approach, by saying no need for crypto, it doesn't mean that XRP isn't going to directly benefit from this, because listen to this. Through their business-to-business payments, business-to-customer payments, and payments you make to a business or an individual on behalf of your customer, this is going to allow company owners and banks to improve their payroll, liquidity management for subsidiaries, vendors, supply payments. So this diagram right here represents the payment flow. I want you to pay close attention to this, because we have country A and country B at the top. We have the sending customer and the beneficiary, right? So the sending customer has their bank or their financial institution that they're using that is connected to Ripple. And let's say they're from the Philippines. Now you have country B, which could be like maybe the UAE, Dubai, wherever over in that region, or over in Europe, which has their payout partner to receive the payment through local clearing rails to go into their beneficiary account where they would hold their funds, so to speak. Right in the middle, we have X. We don't have the Ripple logo, we have the XRP logo. So how this works is simple. Step one, you, the sending customer, enter payment information in the Ripple payment UI, user interface. Step two, the intermediary, which is Ripple's node, validates the transaction. If both the risk and compliance checks are successful, Ripple approves the transaction. Then the payout partner in node 3 now validates the transaction. If their compliant check is successful, they approve the transaction. Step 4, XRP is moved and converted to the destination currency for distribution by the payout partner. Step 5, the payout partner completes the payment by sending the funds to the beneficiary. And all of this happens in a matter of seconds. So the real key here to understand is XRP is moved and then it's converted. So it's not like XRP directly is now in their account, they're just holding XRP, because they might need the GBP, or they might need USD, or they might need the fiat currency of their local country, because the world still operates on fiat currencies just on a digital screen, right? So we asked ChatGPT to break this down for us. Then I'll give you guys my opinion on this and how I feel XRP is going to play a role and how this will impact the price in a little bit. So based on what ChatGPT is saying, Ripple's Payments Direct is a system designed to facilitate cross-border payments using Ripple's platform without the need for the user to hold, buy, or sell XRP directly. Instead, they provide a streamlined payment process that handles all aspects of cross-border payments, including compliance, currency conversion, and payout delivery. And so this leads a lot of people to ask the question of, why is XRP even needed? And will this impact the price long-term, short-term, or in the midterm? Because in the short term, nothing's happened with the price of XRP other than it just like going up a little bit, sideways, or even down, depending on when you bought it. So while the document states that users do not need to hold or manage XRP to use Ripple payments directly, XRP is still an integral part of the Ripple network's backend operations. And here's how XRP is involved. Number one, conversion and liquidity. Remember, we're in a global liquidity problem, not necessarily just a payments problem. Although the user doesn't directly interact with XRP, the Ripple network likely uses XRP in the backend to facilitate liquidity and quick currency conversion. So it's the bridge currency because it allows for faster, more efficient cross-border transactions compared to traditional methods. Also, number two is payment flow. The document mentions that in the payment flow, XRP is moved and converted to the destination currency for distribution by the payout partner. So XRP is definitely still playing a role in the transfer process. Even if the end user doesn't see or manage it, it plays a long-term critical role in everything that they do. That's just a fact, right? That's not an opinion, that's a fact. Number three is network efficiency. XRP's role in the Ripple network enhances the efficiency and speed of transactions, which is one of Ripple's key selling point. Speed. By using XRP for liquidity, Ripple can ensure faster settlement times and reduce costs, which benefits all parties involved in the transaction. So their goal right now, while we go through this whole regulatory framework and new laws and bills being passed to eventually be signed, is to work seamlessly without requiring users to directly deal with XRP in case they're emotional bias holds them back from doing that based on skepticism, right? Because we're all human beings here. We're not artificial intelligence. We're not like, okay, I can use it because it's the future. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe they're going to shut down my local bank here if I use it. So they might be a little scared when they just don't have all of the facts straight. So that's what the goal of these videos are, is to give you guys the facts so you can have the facts straight to understand and know what you hold. So this is going to make it more accessible for businesses and financial institutions that might be hesitant about handling cryptocurrencies. However, XRP still plays a crucial role in the back end to facilitate the core functions of the Ripple network. Therefore, while it works without XRP, which is leading a lot of skeptical people to just throw a bunch of shade or FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt out there, from a user's perspective, XRP is still very much a part of the underlying infrastructure that powers Ripple Payments Direct. So we asked ChatGPT, based on all of this, the price of XRP has still been below $1 for years. If all of these banks are partnering with Ripple and XRP is used for on-demand liquidity, then why is the price of XRP not doing anything? Will XRP stay below $1 forever? Is the value of it just going to sit at 60 cents? Is this a good cryptocurrency to hold? These are all really important questions. I'm glad you asked. So here's what ChatGPT said back. The situation with XRP's price, despite its widespread partnerships and use in Ripple's products, is very complex, multifaceted. Here's a breakdown to address your concerns. So why has XRP stayed below $1? Number one, market sentiment and speculation. Crypto prices are heavily influenced by market sentiment, which can be affected by speculation right now rather than utility or partnerships. Despite Ripple's partnerships with banks, speculative forces drive much of XRP's price action, especially given the ongoing legal battle with the SEC. So that's the most important thing to focus on is this legal battle. So it's officially over that XRP is not a security on the secondary market. We know the amount that Ripple has to pay. However, there's still an amount of time that the SEC can appeal. So this is leading to speculation of these banks holding back still, people holding back because they don't know how much longer it could go if the SEC appeals in back and forth documents in the courtroom. So there's still some regulatory uncertainty there. The ongoing SEC lawsuit created significant uncertainty around XRP. Remember guys, XRP, back in that previous bull run before the lawsuit was hit, well, it was the number 2 cryptocurrency out there. It was the number 1 altcoin in the world ahead of Ethereum. So there was a lot of hoopla around what happened with the previous head of the SEC filing the lawsuit, then resigning, and then him receiving some payments and something going on with Ethereum there that I'm not going to get into in this video. But the price has definitely been suppressed because of legal issues and things happening behind the scenes, especially in the United States. So this leads to massive centralization concerns. If there's price suppression, Ripple holds a significant amount of XRP, leading concerns about centralization. This concentration of tokens has led to fears of price manipulation, particularly since former Ripple executives have periodically sold large amounts of XRP. So I can't deny that. They definitely hold some in their escrow when they unlock it from their escrow. And then you even have people like Jed McCaleb that have sold off XRP. Undeniably, Ripple needs other streams of revenue so they don't need to sell XRP to keep their business functioning. So number 4 is adoption versus speculation. While RippleNet and on-demand liquidity have real-world use cases, the adoption of these services doesn't necessarily translate directly to immediate price increase for XRP because financial institutions using RippleNet might be using XRP like behind the scenes. This usage doesn't always result in a significant and substantial demand spike that would push prices higher because they might not be directly buying XRP yet because it's just being used to settle payments quickly for their country's fiat currencies. So it's flowing through XRP, being bought quick, sold quick, rather than being bought and held, which drives up the price due to demand of people buying XRP directly. So number 5 is limited utility in speculative markets, where XRP is primarily used as a bridge currency for cross-border payments within RippleNet. However, this utility doesn't always align with the speculative trading behavior that often drives up prices for other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Many institutional users may treat XRP as a tool rather than an investment, limiting its price growth. So if that's what artificial intelligence has to say, let's see what AI has to say about XRP staying below $1 forever, saying it's unlikely that XRP will remain below $1 forever, but several factors will influence its future price. Number 1, the outcome of this whole SEC appeal, if they are going to appeal or not. So the resolution of the SEC lawsuit is a major turning point, obviously, right? Ripple's already won. They have to pay that $120 some odd million. And then if the SEC decides to appeal or file another lawsuit after this one's over, this doesn't mean that the SEC couldn't file another lawsuit. They definitely could, but I don't see why they would because they already got absolutely destroyed and the public's eye in terms of this lawsuit, the smartest move, and I'm not a lawyer, like I say, I'm not a financial advisor, but I like to listen to people that are lawyers that are a lot smarter than me. The smartest move from what they've said is that the SEC needs to just move on, pack their bags, and realize that they lost on this case. This does not look good for them at all, and they continuously lose on a massive legal stage in crypto in general. So number two is increased adoption. As more financial institutions adopt RippleNet and use on-demand liquidity for cross-border payments, demand for XRP could actually rise, potentially pushing up price. Obviously, there's no guarantees, because legally in this video. However, this would likely be a gradual process rather than an immediate spike. So that's why I've highlighted gradual process rather than an immediate spike. A lot of people come into the space, they want to get rich quick. They expect the price to spike up over tomorrow, but the payment system and the whole entire infrastructure of the banks doesn't work that way, guys. It takes time. You guys saw how long, if you were around when Swift was coming out, for them to completely overhaul banking for Swift. It took decades for that to take place. Now I get it. You don't want to wait decades for XRP to go up. And that's why this year is the most important year for crypto because of regulatory clarity. As the global regulatory environment becomes clearer, especially regarding cryptocurrencies and digital assets rather than just blockchain technology, because crypto is on blockchain, but blockchain is really what Jamie Dimon, CEO of Chase, has been excited about rather than cryptos. And now he's shifting around like BlackRock CEO. XRP could benefit as it's positioned as a compliant, secure, and efficient cross-border payment tool. And in fact, it's the most compliant because of the lawsuit. So market cycles is the last thing. And this is one of the most important because of how global liquidity flows. Crypto markets are highly cyclical based on global liquidity cycles. XRP could see significant price appreciation during this bull run if the broader market conditions improved and other catalysts, like the SEC case resolving, the SEC not appealing, the SEC not filing other lawsuits against Ripple, and overall the market responding well to a Fed pivot, which I've talked about in previous videos of Jerome Powell lowering the effective federal funds rate. Now also, this right here is very important. Ripple posted this August 9th this month saying testing, RLUSD, their real US dollar stablecoin, sharing that Ripple is now in private beta mode on the XRP Ledger and Ethereum mainnet, and the Ripple USD stablecoin has not yet received regulatory approval. So I know regulation is boring. It's not something we want to have to wait for, but it's the most important thing right now in the crypto space, and therefore not available for purchasing or trading. So when we look at a stock like Microsoft back from 1980s going into 1990, before Microsoft absolutely exploded, it was sitting all the way down here at like 32 cents. And if we pull this up on ChatGPT and ask, how did Microsoft's technology advancements affect their stock? And also, how will Ripple's tech advancements affect the price of XRP? Microsoft's technological advancements have historically had a significant impact on their stock price. And so key innovations like the development of the Windows operating system, the expansion into cloud computing with Azure, and the acquisition of LinkedIn and GitHub have often led to positive market reactions and long-term growth in Microsoft stock. For example, the company's pivot to cloud computing with Azure has been one of the most critical factors driving its stock to new heights, and investors saw strong future and growth potential in cloud services, and so they scooped up some stock. Also, Microsoft doing buybacks as well too of their stock helped out. And so while as Ripple, making these advancements right now is not directly affecting it, we also have to take into account what happened after 1988 in that boom when everyone was investing into the stocks of the future based on what the companies were doing. So I do believe that Ripple, what they're doing as a company and the advancements, is where investors are going to pour money into the cryptocurrencies that have companies that are making those partnerships. So you guys see that the price of Microsoft by like 1999 went upwards of $60 from like 30 cents. And so I think over the next like decade or two, this is what's going to happen with XRP. It's going to be slow and gradual. Obviously, this chart looks massive, like it just happened really quick, but take into account, like, let me zoom back in for you guys and show you when we were all the way down here at like 50 cents or 60 cents for Microsoft, and I zoom in even further. 37 cents was all the way back in 1989. So over 10 years, Microsoft went, even if we go to 50 cents, October of 1989, when it finally started to break out, by like 90. So a year later, it was at 90 cents. Then another year later, it was at $1.40. Then another year later, it was at $2, right? And so it took time. Then we see these consolidation periods take place where it consolidates for 840 days. You know what I mean? So for you to think that this is just going to happen overnight and it's going to be a flip of the switch moment, I think that's the scam, is people's false expectations coming to the industry and thinking that like Microsoft at $56 or $59 is going to be like XRP going from 50 cents to $50 in a matter of 24 hours, where they're just going to reset the price. And that's just delusion right there. Now, I'm not saying that couldn't happen. It could, never know, but that's most likely not going to happen. And as you can see here, Microsoft followed the market cycle, where we just saw too much money in the markets at that time. And then the dot-com bubble boom, the global macro economy, the Fed pivot on interest rates. And then we saw an inverted yield curve inversion go back into the positive, and that just crashed the markets. And even though the technology was way ahead of its time back in the early 2000s, the price still had to come down 74%. So markets move and stocks move and crypto moves a lot more on speculation, more so than innovation, because as you can see, in liquidity, global liquidity comes back into the markets after 2008. That crash as well too. And then we see the market start to recover. And it ultimately took like 2,700 days for Microsoft to break out from that high of $60. And look at what happened after that, guys. So now we're in 2024, like 40, 50 years after the 80s, and Microsoft is now at $400. And so XRP over the next 30, 40, 50 years is going to do something like what Microsoft or Apple or Amazon did, but you're so freaking early that if you're watching this video, maybe after I'm dead, well, congratulations, grandkids. I made you wealthy. So while we go through macro uncertainty about the Fed pivot and what Jerome Powell is going to do and how that affects the markets, remember guys, the markets, XRP included, right? Because it's in the markets, even though they have their standalone utility that other projects can't compete with because of their partnerships. But the main thing to focus on is, how is Jerome Powell's move going to affect the market? How is regulation going to affect the market? This year it's coming. By 2025, a lot of it is going to be finalized, and we are just starting this bull run similar to what we went through back from December of 2018 all the way to the top in 2021. And so when we look at the crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, all altcoins other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, we can see where we are in this market cycle. And this very similar from what happened in June of 2019 down to December of 2019. If we pull up the MACD, you guys can see that we had a bearish cross right here on the 22nd of April of 2024, where the blue MACD line crossed below the signal line, well above zero. And you can see on the histogram, the momentum shifted over from green to red, bullish to bearish, and we started this downtrend, right? And so on the right-hand side of the screen, you can also see a bearish cross take place when the MACD line crossed below the signal line. The momentum shifted on the histogram from green to red, bullish to bearish, and we were in a downtrend from the 24th of June all the way to the 16th of December. We started to make a recovery on out of here in an attempt to recover, and then COVID took place, and then they started stimulating the economy with the CARES Act and started putting checks in everyone's hands when they were locked in away and home. And simultaneously, then we saw a bullish cross right here on that recovery. We flipped bearish, and then we saw another bullish cross right here out of that, right? Whereas the indicator, the MACD, was forming positive momentum, higher lows, while we were working our way through this. And so the choppiness over the next few months going into election, I do believe that and now here's where my opinion comes in, so take this with a grain of salt, okay? But I do believe that there's going to be some bullish momentum leading into election, and we will start to see a recovery rally like what we saw right here going into, the Fed meeting of September 18th, going into election, just like what we saw happen on the 10th of February. The real caveat here is when the Fed and Jerome Powell decides to lower interest rates, if he drops the rates 25 basis points, how the markets will react initially. There could be an initial drop from that. And then depending on what he says in his speech will really determine the next few months. And then if Donald Trump gets into office, I do think that will be really bullish because RFK is now backing him. We got, Vivek backing him. We got what happened with Mark Zuckerberg coming out talking about the Democrats. It just doesn't look good for the Democrats right now. And Trump is pro-Bitcoin, RFK is pro-Bitcoin. They want to have their own Fort Knox for Bitcoin. So that right there, super bullish news. I think people are really underestimating, how big of bullish news that is for the crypto market. So a lot of these investors are just holding back right now, ultimately because of the macroeconomic look of the Fed pivot, right? So I think a recovery out of here going into September is likely, similar to what we saw happen right here. Now, another caveat is obviously Bill Gates releasing mosquitoes, lock everyone in their doors, whatever happens from a pandemic part 2. whatever you want to call that nonsense, where it dropped the crypto market to shake everyone out. That could be the wild card that shakes everyone out right here. But ultimately, I think it would be a recovery similar to what happened after COVID, and we would go higher. That's what I think would happen, because the market capital industry is still so small compared to the stock market. It's $584 billion. That's nothing when you look at the grand scale of things. We just see momentum on the indicator bearish right now. So we need to see a bullish cross where the MACD line crosses back above the signal line. Whether it happens, relatively soon or below the zero line, we can already see momentum starting to shift from bearish over to bullish with this recovery rally. And so in the short term, I'm bullish. I think there's going to be a recovery going into the September 18th meeting. And so we see XRP trading at this descending resistance right here. If we pull up the stochastic RSI on the weekly chart for XRP, we can compare it similar to what happened back here in August of 2020 going into September, where XRP rallied up to the 200 SMA, got rejected from it, traded back down and stayed above the 50 SMA. So right now, the 200 SMA is above the 50 SMA, just like what we saw back in August of 2020. The price is currently trading right in between them right now at this descending resistance. And so on the stochastic RSI, what we saw happen during that time frame is we were in overbought conditions. The K line, the D line were all the way up here at 97. And as you guys know, on a macro time frame, on like a weekly chart or a monthly chart, anytime that we're above 80 on an indicator like the stochastic RSI, we are overbought. Price is overvalued, and it needs to come down in terms of momentum and volume. And so we saw a sell-off take place. We saw the price drop for XRP from 32 cents all the way down to 22 cents, trade sideways for a period of time, and then XRP rocketed on out of there when the indicators showed that XRP was oversold. And so we were down here. We were at like 14 and 15 on the K line. We saw a bullish cross take place where the K line in blue crossed above the D line in orange. That signaled for the bulls and for the professional traders out there, now's the time to enter into XRP, and XRP's price shot up. And so we look at multiple different things, fundamental news, what I just covered in the first half of this video. Now we cover some technical news in what's most likely to happen next in the short term, the midterm, and the long term. So if you guys are getting value out of this video so far, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, because where are we on the stochastic RSI compared to the price chart? Well, we are in overbought conditions. So this is telling me that XRP has longer consolidation and a potential sell-off coming in the short term, meaning that the K line is at 86, overbought, the D line is at 80, overbought on the weekly, meaning what did we see happen in the past? We just look at the past and we try and formulate the most likely case scenario to happen next. Doesn't mean it's going to happen 100% of the time. In fact, I have a 100% chance of being wrong times. I am right a good amount of time, but I became a millionaire before 30 by looking at all these different things and then winning more than I lose, right? You don't need to win all the time. You just win more than you lose. Like you look at a professional sports team, they don't win every game during the regular season. If you watch basketball, they lose a good chunk. The goal is just to win more than you lose. And so watching this stuff will prevent you from losing all of the time, right? So we see this descending resistance right here from the 17th of September of 2018. XRP got rejected from it, and I'll just draw an arrow so you guys can see what I'm looking at right here on the left-hand side of the screen. Got rejected from it right here on the 17th of June. Tried to make it back up and couldn't clear the 200 SMA, couldn't clear the 50 SMA. And so during a bull run, what we'll usually see is the price chart right here on these bullish and bearish candles staying above the 50 SMA on the weekly chart. As you can see, we passed it right here on the 27th of July. We were in a bull run that entire time. We were forming higher lows and we were forming higher highs until the peak of the market. So right now, we just passed above the 50 SMA. We're struggling to break above the 200 as well too. But during the real parabolic stage of the bull run, the price action deviates from these two moving averages in blue and red. And when we see a golden cross where we see the shorter time frame moving average, which is this blue line, which is the 50 SMA right here, crossing above a slower moving average and a longer moving average, which is the 200 SMA, that signals a golden cross. And in the past, look at XRP's price going into the golden cross. Went absolutely parabolic. And then we saw the 50 above the 200, and then we went into a bear market, and then we saw a death cross happen after the bear market was over. Almost right. In the past bull run on 2019, we saw the same thing happen. The 50 moving average was above the 200, then a death cross took place while we were in a bear market. And so right now, there is no death cross because the 50 moving average is below the 200. If XRP's price breaks out, then we would see a golden cross take place. And last time we saw a golden cross take place, leading into that, we saw positive price momentum. So in terms of risk to reward ratio, long term, on the medium term, XRP is actually looking really good. In the short term, looking somewhat bearish just because of the stochastic RSI right here. If we see another bearish cross and we see the momentum shift on the stochastic RSI to bearish and we start trending back below 80 and we confirm a bearish cross right now, the K line's at 86, D line's at 80. We haven't seen a bearish cross take place other than what we saw back in the 19th of July with that quick pullback that took place. Now price is back in positive territory. So it doesn't mean a pullback might happen right away. We could, honestly, the price could come upwards of 75 cents, 93 cents, and we can stay in overbought conditions for a period of time, similar to what happened right here on the stochastic RSI from like the 1st of August until the 17th of October. You guys saw the price rally up from the bear market low of 28 cents, rallied up to 41 cents. It kind of cooled off for a little bit, similar to what we're seeing happen like right now. The price has cooled off a little bit. And then we saw a massive pump from 31 cents upwards of 56 cents. And then the stochastic RSI was in really overbought conditions all the way up here at like 90 plus for the K line, the D line. And then we saw the price reverse. And so what that would look like on the price chart, again, there's no guarantees and this is not 100% what it's going to look like. But if the price breaks out of this descending resistance and rallies all the way up of 77 cents, 89 cents, 90 cents, and then cools off right here, then I would expect there to be a sell-off and a back test of this previous range right here of roughly like 60 something cents as support, which simultaneously would interact with this descending resistance right here. Maybe we come all the way back down to it, I don't know, or we hover around it, and then we work our way through here before the next major leg up for XRP. So the next move for XRP, I think, is going to push the price up rather than down, and then we see a cool off period before the next major leg up, whether that's closer to election or 2025. I don't care, because long term, I believe XRP is looking really, really bullish. In the short term, if we see a shift in momentum from bullish to bearish and we see a bearish cross on the stochastic RSI, I'm just going to be accumulating more XRP. In the meantime, what I'm doing right now to earn an extra 1,000 to 2,000 XRP per day, regardless of whether the price goes up, down, or sideways, is by playing the #1 game on the XRP Ledger and leveraging the largest liquidity pool in the world on the XRP Ledger. And so what I'll do for you guys is I'll leave a link in the description below, and you can discover how to earn more crypto rewards in less than 10 minutes with the #1 play to earn XRP game. You just click the button on the page. You don't need any previous trading experience. You simply put in your best email address. You'll be instantly subscribed to our daily video newsletter to receive value-based videos like this. On the other side, you'll be able to watch an 8-minute video in less than 10 minutes. You can get started right now. We'll show you how to get your XRP wallet, how to get your game pieces, how to play the game, how to withdraw crypto each and every single day to stack your rewards, and then how to add it to the liquidity pool. For example, every day I play the game, I earn roughly 10 crypto per day. I add about 8.58 to the liquidity pool. And if we look at what crypto is at right now, it's sitting at about $95 with a $3.3 million market cap. And so if we take 8.58, we multiply that by about 95. That's about $815 worth of crypto. So by adding that to the liquidity pool, I receive 52,000 LP tokens. I just click add liquidity. It pulls it up in my XRP wallet. I just simply slide to accept it right here, enter in my password. Once I accept that, it's going to say transaction signed and dispatched. And then live right here, you can see it'll say success after a period of time. Give it a second. Boom, success. Transaction successful. I got those LP tokens. Now by holding those LP tokens through their AMM, their liquidity pools, I'm able to earn trading fees. Also, I can improve my rank in the game. And by having a higher rank in the game, I'm able to stack even more crypto rewards. Right here, you can see I have 214 because I'm withdrawing every single day about 8+ crypto per day. And then I add that to the liquidity pool, or I can swap that for XRP if I want. And so you can just take 214, multiply that by 95. Or if I want to remove liquidity from the LP tokens that I've just been stacking up, I can remove that in XRP if I want. So if I just type in 1,000 XRP, I'm redeeming 39,000 LP tokens. So I can play with the numbers here, and you can see I got 52,000. So if I redeem 1,400, I'm getting 54,000. So what today is roughly like between 1,300 and 1,400. Yeah, 1,300, roughly 40 XRP I can redeem for those LP tokens that I just got in the pool. Now, obviously there's no guarantees for what you guys will earn, but the reason why this game is so awesome is just because it's really simple, and it's the first and it's the best play to earn XRP game on the XRP Ledger, because you're able to earn crypto rewards. You collect digital game pieces. These digital game pieces you're able to send out there, like earn rent on your land, which is really cool. And as you can see over the past few days, I've earned 36 crypto collecting rent on my land, and that just stacks up in the bank vault. I withdraw that every day. Like I said, add that as liquidity, one-sided through crypto to the liquidity pool, like 8.58. Right now, that's currently 52,000 LP tokens. So that might be more or less depending on when you're seeing this video. So this project has been absolutely crushing it. You guys can see back here in June, it was at $22. Now it's upwards of $90. And I'm not gonna make any guarantees on this because obviously this game is for fun. And I don't recommend you to buy or sell anything. I just believe in full transparency and telling you guys what I'm doing with my money. So the reason why I decided to get started with this game is because I believe more adoption is coming for XRP, for Ripple, more attention and awareness is coming to the XRP Ledger. And so when XRP finally does pop and do something big, people are going to be looking for the top projects on the XRP Ledger. And this is the largest liquidity pool. So if you want to stack your crypto rewards and discover how to earn more crypto in less than 10 minutes per day, the game, literally I just wake up, I play it in like 5 minutes or less. I put 10 minutes because it's an even number on this page, but sometimes it only takes like 30 seconds because I literally just go in here, guys. I can rent, mine, thieve, govern, rule, or enhance. Like if I click rule and I hit continue, I'll have available pieces and I'll have active pieces. So the queen that I have right here is an active piece and has 1 day and 22 hours left of earning crypto rewards. And you can see just within the past 24 hours, she's earned about 4.45 crypto. Now, once she's done performing the action of ruling, she'll go from active over to available. And then I'm able to send her out there again to rule, stack up more crypto, and earn me more rewards. Same thing for mine. If I click mine, they're all under active right now, and I could send them out for either 1 day, 3 days, or 7 days. So most of the time I send them out for 7 days. So sometimes I don't even need to come in and play the game. I literally just go into the bank, I make my daily withdrawal. I then take that daily withdrawal, I put it in the liquidity pool, and I just stack up my LP tokens. Now, like I said, you guys can swap that for XRP any moment that you want, but you have to follow all the steps through the link in the description below. Watch all of these videos before you get started, and you could take action right now in literally less than 8 minutes. So go check out that link. I appreciate you guys. If you got value from this video, as always, subscribe to the channel because we're backing up our truck all the way to the bank. We're grabbing the bags, packing them, stacking them, leaving no bags left behind because we believe the spending power of the dollar is just going to keep going down in value regardless of whether people keep using fiat currencies due to inflation, monetary print orders. That's a fact. Blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, and cryptocurrencies have been going up in interest over time. That's the truth. And together, you know where we're going. We're going camping on the beaches of the moon. I'll see you guys on the next video. I will see you on bullrunners.com through the link below. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.